Editor's note. If this comes on camera real bad, you can see. Just leave this in and explain that sometimes I cut my head when I'm shaving. It sucks. Well, good morning, and it is a morning, technically, by I think legal definitions. I'm sure that there is a legal definition for what a morning is. It was a later morning than usual, but still itching to get out real bad, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But it was different. Well, here comes somebody who wants to talk. Hold on a minute. It's not going to work. Hey, how's it going?
Thank you, you too.
That was a man who wanted to talk. That's just going to extend everything. Well, we're still recording. And he's driving away. I don't think that's the same guy. I'm pretty sure that's a different guy. I've talked to some of the guys who work around here because I'm out here every weekend. Anyway, it was a different morning today because I didn't get up and get out as early as possible. I got up and got ready and then packed everything for my significant other into her car, and she left because she's off to college for hopefully the last summer. I'm pretty sure it'll be the last summer where she has to go out of state across the country in order to go get her master's degree. And she's gone for 3 weeks. My goal was to get out and come check in on the hummingbirds and then get to use some new equipment that we'll talk about in a bit. But that goal has changed. We're not going to see the hummingbirds today, although I'm still going to try to drive somewhere else maybe. I got here and the bridge is closed. It's been blocked off, utility work. I was just talking to the guy about why. They've got there were trees coming down, so they got to get out there to clean up the trees that have been falling, and the river is really high. I don't think they're going to even be able to get their equipment over there. The river, he said he was almost to the bridge, but not quite, but to the point where they have to shut it down. And then I went to the other entrance to this park because there's two of them, and the other entrance is not going to happen because it's underwater. The river is insanely high right now. So that's out, which is unfortunate. But I've got some other places to drive to today. It also started raining. It was really cloudy, and I thought, well, maybe the sun will come out. And then it started raining while I was out looking around trying to see if I could see the bridge or get a picture of it with the water being so high. That didn't happen at all. So that's out, unfortunately. It's not going to happen this weekend probably at all with the water being this high. The flood, I mean, there's been flood warnings and everything, and I've seen the water. I didn't expect it to continue getting as high as it is, but there's still some snow left on the mountains, not here at this particular area, but in other areas I can still see some snow caps. I guess it is still melting, and we have had a good bit of rain recently. It's been almost every day we get a little bit of rain. But anyway, it'll have to be next weekend for that, which is unfortunate, but I still want to get out and try to see whatever I can see today and put to use some new things. For example, my birthday is in a few days. So my significant other, before leaving, bought me a new bag, which is pretty cool. It's a backpack. It's replacing the other bag that I've been using. And it can also be a sling bag. So the backpack straps can adjust from 2 to be 1, and then I can use it for multiple purposes. That's not the most exciting, I'm not going to lie. It's amazing, and I'm very happy about it, and I'm super excited to use it. I was able to fit everything into there. But the other thing that I'm really excited to use is something I've been talking about for a while, and finally went ahead and pulled the trigger after budgeting everything. If you saw last week's video, you definitely know what's coming. New camera. The Sony A7R5, which is apparently very new and has a lot of really cool features, and so I'm very excited to get to use this. So now I'll be able to use that for the still photography. I still, of course, have my other one to do landscape videos and things like that, and that'll be able to have one on each hip from the shoulder harness for what it is. Well, that's all. I got rained out. It's not going to happen today for the hummingbirds. I'm not going to be able to check in, so hopefully she didn't hatch her eggs already. Or I guess they're her eggs because she's the female hummingbird that laid them and is caring for them. But the eggs themselves will be beings of birds by the time they hatch, so maybe the birds are the hatching? Maybe the possessive should be there? I don't know. I don't do grammar very well. I'm going to drive around, see if we can find a spot where the sun is out, see if we're going to see some birds and take some pictures, hopefully, because I really want to use the new camera. I got it all set up during the week after it arrived. I took some time to look through all the settings and try to set everything up matching what I had before, but we'll see. It'll be a learning experience because it's got a lot of new features that I'm really excited about, and it is a significant step up from the previous one in a lot of different ways, including resolution. That is the R. The other Sony that I have is an A7 IV, but the R in the A7R stands for resolution, and it's about double, from 30 megapixels to like 60 something. So it's going to be able to take some pretty nice pictures. Resolution's not everything, but it is a nice step up, so I'm quite excited about it. Anyway, hopefully this won't be the end of the video, assuming I can find some sunlight today and not so much clouds and not rain, and we'll go look for birds elsewhere. Still cloudy and no sunlight at the wildlife viewing area, so going to continue going. You can see in the distance there's a bit of sunlight peeking behind the clouds at the top of the mountain, so we're headed that direction. Maybe we'll find something. Well, I drove out to a forest that I've been to before, and it's raining still. I'm sure, I know for a fact the Canon cameras that I had were weather sealed. I remember reading a lot about that. I don't think I've ever read anything about the Sony ones or the Sony lenses that I have, but I'm sure that they are. I don't really want to test that, though, without confirming. I'm pretty positive, considering the price and what they're for and everything. They'd probably be okay. It's not raining that bad, but also still no light. Still not really much wildlife, so maybe I'll find somewhere else to drive to. And then I came home because there was no chance of sun that day. As a matter of fact, alright, now check this out. It was raining earlier, right? When we went out, we did all that stuff. It's turned to hail. That is hail, ice, frozen rain all over my car. Nice. But something that I mentioned was that I'm home alone for 3 weeks. And when there's no one around, I don't get distracted, I don't lose my focus, and I don't feel uncomfortable or that I'm a bother or distracting other people. So I'm much more free to just record whenever I feel like. Something that will be changing in the next month and a half. Once we move, I will have a space to record. And that's what I sat down and recorded a whole thing that now I'm realizing wasn't very coherent and I could do differently and better. Anyway, it tend to get off track and flustered. I lose my train of thought. So I'm doing this now at the end of the day to wrap up that video, and then I'll record another thing here that will be a separate video talking about what I'm going to do in the future. So yeah.